Welcome back to my channel, guys. We're going to be running through a lower body session. This is currently week 1 of my new training program. I'm currently sitting at maintenance for the next 2 weeks before I officially head into my prep, fat loss phase, diet phase, whatever the fuck you want to call it, for my photo shoot in September. This is my second lower body day of the week. Still training 5 days a week. My split has changed slightly to accommodate more for my diet phase. So the last block we ran was 3 upper, 2 lower, as the goal was to build more muscle in my upper body. But now it's kind of just like, we want to be putting myself in a position where I can maintain as much muscle mass as possible, maintain my strength as much as possible throughout my dieting phase, as I won't be in the best environment to build muscle. So we've changed the split from 2 lower, 2 upper to 1 full body. The full body day is very like accessory work, glutes, a little bit of like shoulders, a little bit of arms in there as well. With this program, things are still generally the same, like in terms of exercises, things like that. Like it's very similar to my last program, just with some different variations thrown in, and pendulum squatting again, which I haven't done in like a few months, just based off what happened with my knee when I wasn't able to do any like squatting movements. But pop that back in the program, still doing heavy RDLs, and yeah, got a few new movements thrown back in that I haven't done in a while. So I'm really excited for this program, for a little bit of variety, but also really excited to push the exercises I've been going really well in, like the RDLs and stuff like that, and just kind of see where things are going to progress to throughout this program. So I'm going to bring you along for this lower body session, and I hope you enjoy this video. I know it's fucking cold if I'm training in a t-shirt and trackies with tights underneath. It is like 6 degrees this morning in Sydney, and I fucking hate everything about it, and I'm going to complain every single day until it gets fucking warm again. But just warming up on the leg curl. This is my first exercise of my session. I've got leg curls, pendulum squats, hip extensions, and leg press, I'm pretty sure. So starting off with the leg curl, doing a couple warm-up sets, and I'm going to first working set now. If you suffer from any sort of like knee pain, any sort of knee discomfort in the bottom of a squat, putting a leg curl before you do your squat pattern can be really beneficial, as it is going to help warm up the knee joint and stabilize the knee joint better. When you then go into your squat pattern after, you're less likely to get any of that knee pain. And this is because at the top of your leg curl, you are in the same amount of knee flexion as you would be in a squat as well. So it's just helping you stabilize and warm up that position before you go into your squat. So that's why I'm doing this before my squat pattern, because I have suffered from knee pain in the past and we don't want that to happen again. So got 3 sets of 8 to 12. Week 1 of the program as well, we're not fucking sending it yet. We're just making sure we are kind of cruising into the program. I'm just kind of finding where I'm landing for the first week, finding my feet with the program, finding my feet with the exercises, and just picking weights that are still challenging, but not to the point where I'm gassing out or going to failure. So that's roughly like a 7 RPE if we're going on an RPE scale, or an RAR like 3. So leaving at least 3 reps in reserve at the end of my sets, just so that way I've got room to progress in the coming weeks. Like if you're running a program for 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 weeks, you want to make sure you're able to progress weekly, rather than just sending it week 1 and then you've kind of maxed yourself out for the rest of the program, or even worse, you start going backwards because you overshot your effort. So week 1 is always about getting familiar with the program, and then from there we start ramping up the weights. Any of these traffies wouldn't fucking last long. I'm either really fucking cold or really fucking hot. No in between. I could probably get away with training upper body in trackies, but fuck, not lower body. It's just too hot now. And even like the drawstring was fucking digging into my stomach, laying down. Feel good. I'm gonna keep this top on for 1 more set, which is another unheard of quality. Be training in a t-shirt, but fuck it. It's just so fucking cold. But I can feel myself like sweating, and when like sweat touches cotton, it just makes you feel a little bit icky. Let's pendulum squat. We're gonna start off with 5 kilos because this machine is so fucking heavy on its own. Like, I'm pretty sure they said it weighs like 40 kilos without any weight added. So I'm going to see how 5 feels. If it still feels pretty easy, I'll probably go 10. But I've got 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Fun times. Not bad. This just gasses you out regardless whether you're doing a light bit or not. When it comes to any sort of chain squat, pendulum, half squat, your foot placement will determine how much you bias your quads or how much you bias your glutes, for example. So for the pendulum, I want to get more quad involvement. So I'm going to make sure my feet are lowered down on the foot pad to allow me to get as much knee flexion at the bottom of the squat, meaning as much knee over toe at the bottom of my squat. That way I'm getting a big stretch through my quads. Whereas if you feel it a lot in your glutes, it's generally because your feet are a little bit too high, so you're not getting as much knee flexion at the bottom. So this is a new machine we got at Pato that I haven't tried yet. This is the first time I'm trying it in program. I'm really excited because it's pin loaded, so I don't have to hold a stack of fucking 20 kilo plates. So we're just holding on that cable machine, pin loaded, definitely can load this up quite heavy. And then we're gonna start at either like 50 or 57 kilo, seeing how that feels. I've got 3 sets of 12 to 20, I think. So that's gonna be fun. People call this a back extension, people call this a hip extension. It's both the same thing, except what do you want to target more? Do you want to target your back, take your back through a range of motion, or do you want to target your hip extensors, which is your glutes, and also do you want to target your hamstrings? Then you want to focus on a hip extension, which is basically extending the hips. So where a lot of people go wrong with this is when they're coming up. If you want to do a back extension, focus on extending through the back. So your lower back, which is your erectors, which are like a muscle. If you're extending through here, you can see how my back is rounding at the top or arching. This is going to target your back. So this is going to make it a back extension. But if you want it to be a hip extension, make sure the pad is positioned underneath your hips or where your hip crease is. And then from here, your upper body shouldn't really be making any movement. It should not be going through a range of motion. What should be happening is you're pushing your hips into the pad here. So you're driving your hips still forward by squeezing your glutes and coming up as far as you can until you reach full hip extension at the top. And then you're coming down by breaking at the hips or bending at the hips and then coming up. This is the difference between a hip extension where you're extending the hips versus a back extension where you're extending the back. The glute pump I get on these is fucking real. When you understand the difference between a back extension and hip extension on this, you will feel the fucking muscle work. Final exercise, leg press. I have not done a fucking leg press since like my first ever program with my coach. It's been like nearly like 9 months, 10 months, some shit like that. This is the final exercise of the program. Literally just 4 exercises and that's it. If you're walking out of the session after doing say 6, 7, 8 exercises and you don't feel like you worked hard enough, then you don't actually need to add more to your session. You just need to actually make the most of the 6 exercises in your session and actually train with effort and intensity and do heavier weight and maybe less than 12 reps. And I can guarantee your physique will change, your strength will increase, and you'll actually walk out of the gym satisfied with what you fucking did and not feel like you wasted your time. Fuck. 15 reps is cardio. Trash, like me. That is me done for today. Very, very short and sweet. Generally week 1 of my program because I'm not going too heavy. It's pretty cruisy, just like getting familiar with the whole session. My sessions are actually quite quick. So it's quite nice. Like I'm in and out of the gym within like an hour. Generally it's like an hour and a half because I either take like 10-minute rest periods or I yak too much. So it's nice, first week of the program, really, really short, sweet sessions. Kind of found where my starting point is and just ready to kind of ramp it up from next week, which is super exciting. I'm really excited to see the sort of progressions I make this block. Obviously, as I get deeper into this training block, I'm going to be eating less because I'm going to be dieting. So I'm curious just to see how I kind of maintain across this block, essentially. The last time I did a dieting phase, my training style was very different. It was very compound lift, squat, bench, deadlift, whereas this is more like bodybuilding style. So I'm very, very intrigued to see how things kind of play out. But that is all. I'm going to do some filming for some content for my photo shoot prep program that begins on the 15th of July. So if you want to get fucking shredded, look lean as fuck, and have a photo shoot at the end to showcase all your hard work for 12 weeks, you can sign up via the link below. And then I also have to film some content for my fat loss masterclass, which is going to be on Monday next week. So same thing, if you want to join into that, link below. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those fucking things. Otherwise, I hope you're having a fabulous morning, day, evening, night, wherever the fuck you are. And I'll see you in the next one.